Senator Wolk, please close.
Thank you. I shall. I want to thank my colleague, and I want to thank my other colleagues for this robust discussion, heartfelt and meaningful. I want to only focus on one allegation because the person's name was mentioned as an example of how the Oregon law has not been honored, has failed, is inappropriate. The allegation had to do with Kate Cheney, who was 85 years old, inoperable stomach cancer. The allegation, the opponents claim, that her physician and 2 mental health professionals felt she was not competent to make decisions and was being pressured by her daughter. The medical director of the HMO, this is the allegation, ignored the opinions and wrote a prescription for her. This is the fact. A mental health professional thought that she was competent. He also noted that her daughter was a strong advocate, but that Ms. Cheney was not pressured by her daughter into considering using the law. He referred her to another mental health professional for a second opinion. That's 4 doctors, who also concluded that she was capable of making the decision to use the Oregon law if she chose. Her physician never claimed that she was incompetent. He refused to write a prescription because he does not support the law. And you know, we protect those physicians who choose not to engage in the law, as well as those who do. That's his right. The medical director, who provides oversight on all the cases where a request has been made for a hastened death, determined that she was competent and not under duress. She held on to the prescription for 3 more months before making her own decision to use it. I would like to close with the quote from the CMA president when they withdrew their Luther Cobb, when they withdrew their opposition to SB 128 and to this bill. Despite the best medical treatments we can provide and the excellent palliative and hospice care we do have, sometimes it just isn't enough. The safeguards are there. We ask for your aye vote.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Cannella. No. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. No. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nilsson. No. Pan. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Mr. Secretary, call the absent members, please, one time.
Anderson, no. Fuller. Galgiani. Aye. Wesso. Pan.
Ayes 23, noes 14. The measure passes. At this time, the second extraordinary session will stand in recess, and the regular session will be reconvened. With that, colleagues, we're going to proceed on to motions and resolutions. Senator Monning, could you come to the desk, please? Senator Monning, for what purpose do you rise?
Motions and resolutions. Members, I move to withdraw Assembly Bills 266 and 243 from the third reading file and refer the measure to the Rules Committee.
Colleagues, this action requires a vote. I'd ask for all those at the back of the chambers to please come in so we can hear your vote. We are about to call a roll call. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wisso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning.
Aye.
Aye. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nielsen. No. Pan. Pavley.
Aye.
Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk aye. Leno aye.
Ayes 23, noes 8. The motion carries. Senator Monning,
Motions and resolutions.
please proceed.
Members, I move to suspend Senate Rule 29.3B for the purpose of amending Assembly Bills 243 and 266.
Is there any objection to the use of a previous unanimous roll call?
Not unanimous. The prior vote.
Previous roll call. Any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Yes. Mr.
You okay with it? Andy, you're okay with that roll call?
Say it again. Is there objection to the use of a previous roll call? No objection. Thank you. Ayes 23, noes 8. The motion, Senate rules are suspended. Senator Monning.
Yes, members, excuse me. I move to suspend Senate Rule 29.4 for AB 131.
Is there any objection? Is there any objection to applying a previous roll call? No objection. Ayes 23, noes 8. The Senate rules are suspended. Colleagues, if we could have colleagues enter the chambers, please. We're going to go back. Colleagues, we're returning to Assembly third reading. We're going to start with file item 69. There are members off the floor. We'll be moving the call on these measures. We will be taking up the following items. File item 69, 70, 71 Hancock, 72 Hernandez, 73 Bates, 74 Wolk. Starting with file item 69, AB 1513. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1513 by Assemblymember Williams, an act relating to employment.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'm here to present AB 1513 by Assemblymember Williams. This bill represents a rare opportunity of a win-win legislation that will help both workers and employers. Specifically, AB 1513 responds to two recent court decisions which require employers to separately pay and record rest periods and non-productive time for piece rate workers. These decisions created significant liability for employers in many industries for unpaid wages and incorrect wage statements. This liability is forcing businesses to close and preventing workers from being paid the wages they are due. In light of this unique crisis, labor and employers came together to negotiate a fair agreement that protects both employers and workers. And AB 1513 is a result of that negotiation, and I would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any discussion or debate on the measure? Senator Cannella.
Madam President, I rise in support of this bill as it will provide a much-needed fix that works for both employers and workers, because court decisions created an environment that retroactively changed the rules for piece rate compensation. It's necessary to find a fair balance to allow businesses to move forward. By creating a safe harbor, we'll see fewer unnecessary lawsuits. This will also provide needed clarity for workers and employers moving forward. This bill has widespread support and does the right thing for those that use piece rate compensation. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Any further discussion or debate? Any further discussion or debate? Senator Mendoza, would you like to close?
Thank you, Madam President. Again, members, AB 1513 would protect employers from litigation resulting from these court decisions, but more importantly, it will also pay workers their unpaid rest period and non-productive wages. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Bell. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Morlock. No. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Runner. Stone. Vidak. No. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Bates, no. Fuller, aye. Stone, no.
Senator Mendoza moves the call. File item 70, Assembly Joint Resolution 25. Senator McGuire. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Joint Resolution 25 by Assemblymember Lackey relative to cannabis businesses.
Senator McGuire.
Madam President, it's really good to see you. Final evening of this session. Madam President and members, I'm honored to present Assembly Joint Resolution 25, which calls on the federal government to update its laws to allow the medical cannabis industry to access financial services. And I greatly appreciate Assemblymember Lackey for bringing this forward. Today, cannabis businesses cannot open bank accounts because of various federal requirements for financial institutions. The cash-based nature of the industry causes cannabis businesses to either knowingly or unknowingly pay less in taxes to state and local government. Also, large sums of cash leave these businesses vulnerable to theft and, quite frankly, violence in our communities. Would be honored if you join Assemblymember Lackey and myself in urging Congress to find a solution to this serious problem. This has bipartisan support, and I would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Any discussion or debate on the measure? Any discussion or debate on the resolution? Senator Runner.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I rise in support of AGR 25 because not allowing the medical marijuana-based businesses access to financial services reduces tax revenue to the state and is a serious public safety concern. Not having access to banking has created a cash-based industry that forces business owners to use bags full of money to pay vendors, business expenses, tax and fee obligations. It's obviously carrying around bags of cash is not safe. FBI, DEA, and U.S. Attorney all agree this cash-only enterprise is the greatest contributor to violence and corruption surrounding California's medical marijuana industry. Therefore, it's time for Congress to support legislation and policies that allow banks and credit unions to provide financial services to the medical marijuana industry. It's time for us as a body to call on a change in federal policy. We have been elected to uphold policies that protect the public and law enforcement personnel. We should also enforce those laws that are legitimate business owners to pay their fair of the taxes. With the new medical marijuana regulation bills about to be passed today, hopefully, it's more important than ever that Congress make access to banking a reality for this industry. I strongly urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. By approving this resolution, we're sending a mixed message to Congress. We're actually asking them to do something that is in conflict with their own laws. I know that when Senator Obama was running for president of the United States, that he made a lot of commitments and recognized the value of medical marijuana, as I recognize the medical benefits of marijuana. But unfortunately, the now president has not acted to do what would be appropriate, and that is take marijuana off of a Schedule I DEA classification. It's federal law that has marijuana grouped into the same category as heroin, as LSD, which is inappropriate and is what has caused so much conflict in the United States. So we're asking Congress now to allow for banks to accept cash, checks for a drug that they view to be illegal in the United States. I think the appropriate resolution is to urge the President and Congress to reclassify marijuana so that it can be legally prescribed from a federal standpoint and dispensed by licensed pharmacists and provide the care that those that need medical cannabis deserve. So I can't support the resolution today because it conflicts with the federal laws that it is supposed to be congruent with. I hope that this president or a future president will do the right thing and classify it. All it takes is probably some executive action, and all the states wouldn't have to go through all the steps that we've had to do to overcome the federal issues. I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion or debate? Any further discussion or debate? Seeing none. Senator McGuire, would you like to close?
Thank you very much, Madam President. The federal government has actually tried to reclassify it through Congress, but because of politics in Washington, D.C., that reclassification has never been able to advance. California voters passed Proposition 215 in 1996, which legalized medical marijuana in the state of California. And according to some estimates, medical marijuana is worth nearly $40 billion across the state. And one of the reasons why that industry has challenges and why our communities are unsafe is because it is a cash-based businesses. We need to be able to move on the reclassification. I'm with the senator. In the meantime, let's move forward with something practical and allow deposits in credit unions, in banks, in our financial institutions. Would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. No. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Senator McGuire moves the call. We'll get you next time, sir. Moving on to file item number 71, Assembly Bill 72, pass on file. File item 72, AB 684. Senator Hernandez, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 684 by Assemblymember Alejo, an act relating to healing arts.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this bill is a product of extensive negotiation between members of the Assembly, the Senate, the administration, a very large group of stakeholders. I'm proud that all of the legislative administrative staff who have spent an incredible amount of time working towards what I would call a suitable and adequate compromise. This bill allows for the establishment of a landlord-tenant relationship between a registered dispensing optician, an optometrist, and an optical company with certain limitations. It provides protection for consumers and will allow for the reasonable transition period for those entities currently practicing in a non-compliant business model. Members, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Any discussion or debate? Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Leva. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Leno, aye. Stone, aye. Hill, aye. Vidak, aye.
Member moves the call. File item 73, AB 199. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 199 by Assemblymember Eggman, an act relating to alternative energy and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Bates.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm pleased to present AB 199, which will provide a sales and use tax exemption for recycling projects under the existing California Alternative Energy and Advanced Transportation Financing Authority Fund. According to CalRecycle, California exports 20 million tons of recyclables annually, and this is worth nearly $8 billion. Instead of exporting these valuable materials, we should invest in the infrastructure of our recycling sector. By keeping more of these valuable materials here, we will create more jobs and lower greenhouse gas emissions. This bill will invest in our recycling sector, granting a sales and use tax exemption to projects that provide a net benefit to the state of California. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Any discussion or debate on this measure? Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. Berryhill. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. Leno. I. Leva. Liu. I. McGuire. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk. Berryhill, I.
The senator moves the call. Senator Bates moves the call. File item 74, AB 802, Senator Wolk is not on her desk. Motions and resolutions pursuant to Senate Rule 29.10, the following bills are referred to the Rules Committee. Senate Bill 107, Senate Bill 36, and Senate Bill 327. Colleagues, we're going to lift the call on the suspension of the joint rules. We're going to lift the call on the suspension of the joint rules. Mr. Secretary, please call the absent members.
Bates, Berryhill, Cannella, Fuller, Gaines, Glazer, I, Huff, Morlock, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, I, Runner, Vidak. Gaines, aye? Yes.
Ayes 27, noes 3. The joint rules are suspended.